Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
And today, we're drinking bourbon.
Almost.
All right, Ben, what is this mystery whiskey that you have on the bar?
We have, bam, a sample from Troy and Laura at Baker Drinks. Please go like, comment, subscribe. This is Found North, number 6. This is a Canadian whiskey, but the interesting part is it's mashed like a bourbon. Well, and I do have some stats here. It's distilled in Canada. Please do. 87% corn, 12% rye, and 1% barley, aged in Hungarian oak. And it's 128.2 proof. Heard a lot of good things.
I even saw somebody make a reference to this as being similar or even better than George T. Stagg.
That's a bold statement.
That is a very bold. Yeah, I apologize. I underpoured.
No, a little. Do you
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. And they actually said on here that it's 17 to 26-year-old.
That's crazy. But it's Canadian years, so that's only 80% of a year, right?
That's true. They have like the metric system and stuff over there. So.
No, when they age in Canada, it's colder, obviously, and so maybe there's not as much thermal cycling, and so it takes longer for a whiskey to mature.
Yeah, for sure. So,
what are you thinking?
Boy, it's on the nose. I'm not getting the ethanol punch that you would think at 128 and some change.
Yeah. I'm getting toasted almond, which is always a good note. You read the mash bill.
Yeah.
So there's some corn, definitely a lot of rye.
You know what's weird is this has a mash bill of this is going to be totally just my power of suggestion, but it smells Canadian. You know, I mean like Canadian whiskey, which is usually a little bit more of a rye heavy.
I'm glad you added the word whiskey there because I have a mental picture.
I bet you do,
and it's not complimentary.
No, okay. No, I mean, it smells like we've had Canadian whiskeys before.
And we even liked one of them.
Yeah, one. And it kind of has that sort of a vibe on the nose.
It smells very mature and very well balanced. There's a lot of spice going on. So I have high hopes at this point. I don't know about George T. Stagg hopes, but.
Light cedar note, which is interesting. All right, let's get into the palate here, see what happens. Okay. Cheers.
There's some sweetness that I wasn't expecting.
Oh, wow.
That's way better than I assumed.
Yes. That drink's way better than the nose. The nose was kind of basic and just, the proof wasn't coming through, the boldness wasn't coming through. For the proof point on this, I feel like, you know, they say with age can be a difficult thing because sometimes it can get over-oaked and it can add that bitter tannic note.
But it's Hungarian.
Well, there's that. But then sometimes age also, when a whiskey's too young, it kind of has sharp edges that an age can kind of smooth out.
Mellow. Yeah.
In this, I feel like
it's sufficiently mellowed.
It's sufficiently mellowed where you get all that flavor, but that dark, harsh punch of a 120, what is it, 8 again? Proof is not there, and it's just all the flavor is there, but the alcohol is not overly aggressive.
I'm getting pretty strong, burn. It's definitely some ethanol because of the 128 proof. That's noticeable, but not in a bad way. Definitely some barrel char.
There's definitely a burn there, but I feel like it's more like we've talked about the balance of when you have something high proof, they can either be, the flavor and the ethanol burn can be kind of like the same, or one can win out, where sometimes it's off balance and you just get ethanol and the flavor's not there. Sometimes the flavor wins out. This one, I feel like the flavor is winning out over the ethanol punch.
Okay, but I'm getting some wood spice.
For sure, yeah. Ooh, now I'm getting a little more on the nose here too. That proof is starting to shine through a little bit more.
I'm still getting a flavor that I can't quite identify. And it's in the wheelhouse of vanilla and a spice on top of the vanilla. Something in there.
Yeah.
Almost like oatmeal cookie with vanilla, kind of like with the sweetness in there too.
There is a very interesting sweetness to this that I'm having a hard time describing. This is a fantastic whiskey. On the nose, I was not expecting as much. As we said, it definitely drinks more bold than it smelled. But
so I'd never heard of this, and then I saw one post where someone said it was better than George T. Stagg, and it's definitely in the. That's subjective, but it's close. It's very good. It's unicorny. But then I saw this for sale at an online store that I occasionally look at what they have available, and it was in the unicorn price. Well, not unicorn, not secondary prices, but it was expensive, $175.
Okay.
But if it's somewhat available and at that price,
I might consider it if I saw this on the shelf.
Yeah,
that's expensive.
Definitely.
But man, that's an interesting one. We recently reviewed another whiskey that had a little bit of a bubblegum sweetness.
Sure.
I'm getting a light bit of that, kind of on top of all
Typically,
those.
we get that like on a wheat whiskey, though.
Right. And this is not even a wheated mash bill. But there's a very, very interesting sweetness here that I wish that we had a full bottle of this, because this is one of those ones you sit with for a while.
Sure.
Now we want to save some of the sample here because we'll use it in a future video.
Yeah.
But this is a very, very interesting. It's not a down the middle whiskey by any stretch of the imagination. Like, it's not, even though it has a bourbon mash bill, it's not a bourbon, down the middle stereotypical. You could mistake it really for a bourbon. There's something very unique about this. Maybe it's the Hungarian oak. I don't know. But this is a fantastic whiskey.
I wonder if there are other Canadian whiskeys that kind of fit the mold of a bourbon, but obviously legally they're Canadian.
Yeah.
I wonder if there are others.
I think typically Canadian whiskeys are a little bit more rye forward. I know Crown makes a bourbon mash.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it's very common, but they do make it. Huh. But I feel like most of the Canadian whiskeys we've had so far have been lower proof offerings, stuff from Crown Royal that are
exactly
80 proof. And
what really makes this is the age, I think.
Yeah. But there is something
and the proof.
There is something different about this that if you just showed me the stats on this and didn't say anything about it, like, okay, it's going to taste like a well-aged, interesting bourbon. And it does to a certain degree, but this has something that's completely all on its own.
Yeah.
That really sets it aside. So
it's kind of a little graham cracker, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
A little bit of graham cracker.
I'm going to be looking for a bottle of this for sure. I would definitely pick this up. At the $175, it's kind of hard to justify that, but I don't know if that's a normal price or just that website's price, but I don't know where the distribution is for this because I've never seen it around here, but I'm certainly going to look that information up. Yeah. All right, well, this has been Found North, number 6. Sample from Baker Drinks. Go like, comment, subscribe to our friends Laura and Troy.
Thanks, guys.
And this has been, that on the Bourbon Note. I'm Ben.
I'm Greg. Till next time. See you next time.
I got that mixed up. I meant to say Laura and Troy and then say what the whiskey was, but I did that backwards.